Hey folks, thanks for coming to mini concert number 255. 5 more will be 5 years worth. So tonight I got 5 songs that are suitable for Irish pubs. I got a Peter, Paul and Mary song, and I got a Gordon Lightfoot song. First up is a song by a fellow by the name of Eric Bogle. He wrote a lot of songs popular in the Irish pubs. This is one of the 2 most popular. When I was a young man, I carried me pack, and I lived the free life of a rover. From the Murray's Green Basin to the dusty outback, I would waltz my Matilda all over. But then in 1915, my country said, son, it's time to stop rambling, it's work to be done. And they gave me a tin hat, and they gave me a gun, and they marched me away to the war. And the band played WaltziNg Matilda as the ship pulled away from the quay, and amidst all the tears, flag waving and tears, we sailed off for Gallipoli. I'll never forget that terrible day when our blood stained the sands and the waters, and how in that hell that they call Stebvall, we were butchered like lambs at the slaughter. Well, Johnny Turkey was ready, he primed himself well, rained us with bullets, and he showered us with shells. And in 5 minutes flat, we were all blown to hell. He nearly blew us back home to Australia. And the band played WaltziNg Matilda, and we stopped to bury our slain. We buried ours, then the Turks buried theirs, and it started all over again. Those who remained just tried to survive in that mad world of blood, death, and fire. For 10 weary weeks I kept myself alive, while the corpses around me piled fires. But then a big Turkish shell blew me arse overhead when I awoke in me hospital bed. I wished I was dead. I never knew there were worse things than dying. And the band played WaltziNg Matilda, and we stopped to bury our slain. We buried ours, then the Turks buried theirs, and then it started all over again. Well, those who remained just tried to survive in this mad world of blood, death, and fire. For 10 weary weeks I kept myself alive, while the corpses around me piled Well, they gathered the injured, the wounded, the maimed, and they took us back home to Australia. The armless, the legless, the blind, the insane, those proud wounded heroes of Suva. And when the ship pulled into Circular Quay, looked at the place where me legs used to be, thank Christ there was no one there waiting for me. To mourn and to grieve and to pity. And the band played WaltziNg Matilda as they carried us down the gangway. Nobody cheered, they just stood there and stared. And they turned their faces away. Now every April I sit on the porch and I watch the parade pass before me. I see my old comrades, how proudly they march, reliving their days of past glory. While the old men march slowly, all bent stiff and sore, the forgotten heroes of a forgotten war. And the young people ask, what are they marching for? And I ask myself that same question. And the band plays WaltziNg Matilda, and the old men still answer the call. But year after year, the numbers get fewer. Soon no one will march here at all. WaltziNg Matilda, WaltziNg Matilda, who'll come a WaltziNg Matilda with me? And their ghosts can be heard as they march by the Billabong. Who'll come a WaltziNg Matilda with me? So that's called The Band Played WaltziNg Matilda. Got a little lost there in the middle, so I started over. Probably noticed. Next up is the Peter, Paul, and Mary song. This is an old folk song, actually, that's been sung on both sides of the Atlantic. On the UK side, it's called Stebvall, but it's called Stebvall this side. Stebvall's a racehorse, and I wish he were mine. He never drank water, he always drank wine. Well, his bridle was silver, and his mane it was gold, and the worth of his saddle been told. Well, the fairgrounds were crowded, and Stebvall was there. The betting was heavy on the bay and the mare. Well, I bet on the gray mare, and I bet on the bay. If I'd have bet on old Stebvall, I'd be a free man today. 'Cause way out yonder, ahead of them all, came a dancing and a prancing, that noble Stebvall. Now she hollered, turtle of moan. Poor boy in trouble, I'm a long way from home. Well, Stebvall was a racehorse, I wish he were mine. He never drank water, he always drank wine. So that's called Stebvall. Next up is another Irish pub song. This one commemorates an old Irish custom. When somebody passes on, they hold a wake for him to celebrate his life. Sometimes these things get a little rowdy because there tends to be some alcohol involved. This one is called Finnegan's Wake. Finnegan worked in Walking Street, a gentle Irishman, mighty odd. He had a brogue of rich and sweet, and to rise in the world he carried a hod. Tim had a bit of a tippling way, with a taste for the whiskey he was born. To help him on his way each day, to taste of the creature every morn. One forward and dance to your partner, round the flue your trotters shake. Wasn't it the truth I told you, lots of fun, a Finnegan's Wake? One morning Tim felt rather full, his head was heavy and it made him shake. He fell off the ladder and he broke his soul, but it carried him home, his soul to wake. Laid him down upon the bed, wrapped him up in a nice clean sheet, put a bucket of whiskey at his head and a barrel of porter at his feet. Oh, that Matilda, now dance to your partner, round the flue your trotters shake. Wasn't it the truth I told you, let the fun at Finnegan's Wake? Tim's friends assembled at the wake. Mrs. Finnegan called for lunch. First she served him tea and cake, then pipes, tobacco and whiskey punch. Well, Biddy O'Brien began to cry. Such a nice clean corpse did you never see. Temmy Bucko, why did you die? Oh, shut your traps, said Paddy McGee. Let Matilda now dance to your partner, round the flue your trotters shake. Wasn't it the truth I told you, lots of fun at Finnegan's Wake? Well, then Maggie O'Connor took up the job. Biddy, she said, you're wrong, I'm sure. So Biddy gave her a punch in the gob and left her sprawling on the floor. Then the war did soon engage. It was woman to woman and man to man. Shillelagh law was all the rage, and the row and the ruckus soon began. That Matilda, now dance to your partner, round the flue your trotters shake. Wasn't it the truth I told you, lots of fun at Finnegan's Wake? Mickey Maloney ducked his head when a bucket of whiskey flew at him. It missed and landing on the bed, the whiskey spattered over Tim. Look to see how he revives, Tim Finnegan rising from the bed, saying word of your whiskey around like blazes, thundering Jesus, do you think I'm dead? Well, that Matilda, now dance to your partner, round the flue your trotters shake. Wasn't it the truth I told you, lots of fun at Finnegan's Wake? That Matilda, now dance to your partner, round the flue your trotters shake. Wasn't it the truth I told you, lots of fun at Finnegan's Wake? So that is called Finnegan's Wake. So next up is the Gordon Lightfoot song. This one got pointed out to me by Karen. I don't think I'd ever heard it before. First in the world, go forth with your fears. Remember, a price must be paid. Be always too soon, be never too fast, at the time when all bets must be laid. Beware of the darkness, be kind to your children. Remember the woman who waits, and the house you live in will never fall down if you pity the stranger that stands at the gate. When you're out of the danger, and the song that you sing should not be sure not to sing it too slow. Be calm in the face of all common disgraces, and know what they're doing it for. And the house you live in will never fall down if you pity the stranger that stands at the door. When you're out in the world feeling quite lost, remember the burden of fame. And he who is wise will not criticize when other men fail at the game. Beware of strange faces, dark dingy places, be careful while bending the law. And the house you live in will never fall down if you pity the stranger that stands at the door. When you're down in the dumps, not ready to deal, decide what it is that you need. Is it money or love, learning to live, or is it the mouth you must feed? Be known as a man who will always be candid on questions that do not relate. And the house you live in will never fall down if you pity the stranger that stands at the gate. And the house you live in will never fall down if you pity the stranger that stands at the gate. That's called The House You Live In. Last up, another Irish song. This is actually, it's about a Scotsman, but they sing it in the Irish pubs. It's appropriately enough called The Scotsman. Oh, the Scotsman dressed all in his kilt, left the bar with evening fare. You could tell by the way he walked that he drank more than his share. He staggered on until he could no longer keep his feet, and then he stumbled off into the grass to sleep beside the street. Ring ding diddle diddle line-de-o, ring di diddly hi-o. He stumbled off into the grass to sleep beside the street. Just then two lovely lassies happened to pass by. One said to the other with a twinkle in her eye, "See yonder sleeping Scotsman, so strong and handsome built. Well, I wonder if it's true that he wears nothing beneath that kilt." one said to the other, it's time we should be gone. Let's leave him a present before we travel on. So they left him a loose silk ribbon tied up into a bow. Around the bonny star, Scotsman's kilt did lift and show. Ring ding diddle diddle line-o, ring die diddly I-o. Well, around the bonny star, Scotsman's kilt did lift and show. Well, then the Scotsman rose to nature's call, and he headed for the trees. Lifted up his kilt, then he gawks at what he sees, and in a strangled voice he says, so what's before his eyes? Oh lad, I don't know where you've been, but I see you won first prize. Ring ding diddle diddle line-o, ring die diddly I-o. Oh lad, I don't know where you've been, but I see you won first prize. So that's called the Scotsman, and that is mini concert number 255. Hope to see you next week, Wednesday night, 7:30.